Welcome back to the channel. So, how did I get here? Let's start from the beginning. I manifested my son over 20 plus years ago. I knew that I always wanted to have a son, but I didn't want to carry. So, IVF always been a part of my process of having him. If I couldn't do the IVF process, my next option was adopting. Carrying a kid, that was never my thing, but I always wanted to be a parent and I always wanted a boy. My son is about to turn 4 in September. He had his name 20 plus years ago. I had his name together already. I stuck with that name. That was the plan for me. If I was to have a son, this is going to be his name. First, middle, last. He has the name still to this day. Like, once I was able to have a kid, I gave him the name that I've been saying, if I have a child, this is going to be his name. He has that name. So he's been manifesting in the universe for a while now. So how am I at the point where I'm at now? So I met a person. I was new to Atlanta. I met a person. It wasn't really supposed to be anything. I'm not downplaying the situation because we're going through something right now. It's just, it is what it is. Like, the truth is always going to be the truth. It never was supposed to be anything. I knew the type of female that I wanted to do the IVF process with. And when I say that, I wanted to do the process with a person who didn't have a kid. It was going to be our first child together. We were going to do, it was basically like the first everything together. That's always been the plan for me, always. Like, that's always been my plan, to have a son with a person, and it's both of our first child. We're both going to be new to the whole experience. It's going to be a new process for both of us. That's what I always wanted. Of course, me being so eager and not standing on my 10 landed me where I am right now. I take full accountability for where I am because I knew better. I knew better than to do this process with this person. I knew better than to carry on with a person like this when that's not even, my style. So when I say my style, she has multiple kids. I've never dealt with anyone that had more than one child. Yes, in the lesbian community, we all can say the same thing. It's hard to find a female that doesn't have a kid already. Are there people out there that are lesbians, sorry, and they don't have kids? Yeah. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, though. It's hard. So everybody usually has like one kid. I've never dealt with anyone that had more than one kid. So that part, I never was going into this for this to even be anything. Again, I'm new to a new city. I'm here to have fun, enjoy myself, whatever. We link up. But as time goes on, it's just like, I'm not speaking the IVF thing to this person. It's just, I always made it known, like, one day I want to have a kid. That's always been, I'm never shy about that part. Like, no, one day I want to have a kid. This person brought it to me as though, like, I'll do the IVF process for you, to give you your first kid. Now, my gut feeling always was no. No, don't do it with this person. It's not the person that you always envisioned on, having a kid with. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. This played on my mind for a long time. Don't do it. Yes, I knew better, but it was just, I was so eager and I felt like I wasn't getting any younger. And I never had anybody that I was dealing with or came across that even presented this to me. Like, I'll do it for you. I know I never asked anybody, but I never had anybody that to just say it to me either. So yes, I always knew I should not have did this process with this person. I knew this from the beginning. I knew this. Accountability, I take all of that. I knew this. So me just being, I don't want to really say desperate, but I really wanted a kid. So I'm, even though I knew I'm not standing on my 10 by doing it with this person, I really wanted a kid that bad that, I messed up. So we did the process, and even the signs that I got like from the process, like when I say signs, and this is not to throw religion on anybody, but we did the process the first time, she wound up having a miscarriage. That was a sign from God. My child, you're not supposed to have a child with this person. That was the sign right there that, look, no, this is not the person to do that. Let's wrap this up. I still spent the block and tried it again. I'm in this situation because I was being hard-headed. Point blank, period. This was not the person I was supposed to do this with. This was not the person that was supposed to give me my first kid. This was not the person at all. So yes, I'm going through hell and hot water right now for being hard-headed. If you ever get that gut feeling, or if you already know what you want, stand on 10 toes with what you want. Regardless on if you feel like, yo, I'm getting older and I need to hurry up with the process. If you know that you have a vision for your plan already, stick to your vision. Do not detour off of that. Like, once you detour, things go wrong. I detoured. Things are going wrong because I'm in a situation I'm in now. But I'm going to fix this. It's just I shouldn't be here. Like, I shouldn't have to fix something if I would have stayed on path to what I wanted to do. And if I wouldn't have been hard-headed. If I would have followed the lands of the law, I wouldn't be here. But I'm here now. So, we did the IVF thing the first time. It was a miscarriage. I don't know anything about how a pregnancy, like when you're supposed to wait before you tell a person. I didn't know at that time. I didn't know. So I jumped the gun the first time and I told my mom she was going to be a grandparent, and then the miscarriage happened. I didn't know how to tell my mom about the miscarriage, so I just stopped talking about a kid, period. Like I just stopped talking about it, and then I think my mom kind of got the gist, like, oh, something must have happened. So that was my out right there. That was the warning from the universe. That was God telling me, listen, you already knew you were supposed to stand 10 toes on what you wanted. This is not the route to go. I still went that route, and boom. Now you have to learn the hard way because you didn't listen to me, nor did you listen to yourself. Me not listening to myself has me where I am now because, again, when you do something with a person that you really want to do something with, or you feel like, this is like a good person to do something with, and then this not like, oh, we're buying a car or we're buying clothes. We're bringing a whole kid into the world. So I knew better. I just didn't do better. But I knew better. I'm always going to say that. I knew better. That was like, it was things that happened along the way where it kind of like, yeah, you messed up. You should have stood on your 10. You messed up this time. I don't know how bad it's going to get for you, but just know you messed up. So it wasn't where it is now, like the point that it is now as far as a person kidnapping my kid. It wasn't there, but it was just like the little things that was happening. It was like, you should have stood on your 10. You shouldn't have did this with that person. That's kind of how I ended up here. Like, this is the beginning of, I don't want to say the end, but the end. Like, this was the beginning of the end. Like, yeah, I'm so excited to have a kid that when someone offered, I jumped on it, and I regretted it as fast as I didn't jump on it immediately. Like, it took me a while to answer. And when I say a while, probably like a few days. I never gave a response right then and there. It took me a few days to say, okay, we could try it out. But it still was just like, when I said that, I knew. I knew that, yeah, I messed up. I shouldn't have did it. So that is how we got here. Now, where do we go from here? That's coming up next.